Hi, good afternoon to everyone. तो आपका द मेंटर गेट एकेडमी में आपका स्वागत है. दिस इज क्विक मास्टर. ओके, तो आज हम लोग नया टॉपिक डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं, दैट इज कैलकुलस. So here calculus से हमेशा in the GATE examination they are asking here two questions. One question to find out the area enclosed by the curve and another question they can ask from the mean value theorem. So calculus में हम लोग यहाँ पे डिस्कस करेंगे. There is some different subtopics are there. That first of all, the important topic is limits. Limit से भी क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं. This is also a weightage topic. Limits, then it is a mean value theorem. Third one is a maxima and minima. Fourth one is a series. How to find out the series? Fifth one, it's a integration. That is here multiple integration. And the sixth topic we will discuss your vector differentiation. And the seventh topic is your vector integration. So for the gate point of view, one question from here, one question from here, and one more question from here. And rest of that from the two topics, they can ask here one question. So total 4 questions is a pure from calculus. तो चलो हम लोग बढ़ते हैं यहाँ पे वन बाय वन. पहले हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे लिमिट. तो लिमिट्स डिस्कस करने से पहले कैलकुलस क्या होता है? तो कैलकुलस इज related with a function. So function here we can say that a function is a set of objects. Yani function means it's a set of objects that which indicate the relationship between the two sets, like relation between two sets. Like there is a set A is given and they have a relation between the two sets A and B for all the values of A and gives a unique value of B. So here if I tell you for all values of A gives a unique value of B. So at the set A I am considering that it's a X and this B is a Y. So Y this should belongs to B. So if I tell you this is the set N, this is the set B, and the numbers are given 1, 2, 3, and here let's check the numbers are 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. If each one has a unique image on the other set, that is called a function or relation. So function we can say that what could be the function? So function here I am not sure that what could be the function because 1 it is going to 4, but if in place of B, if it is here 1, 4 and 9, so 1 image is 1, 2 image is 4 and the 3 image is 9. So from here we can say the function must be equal to x square. Then you need to square the value of x, you will get the B of set B. So function means always remember that there should be a unique value of y for each input value of x. तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे फंक्शन है, like if I am saying that explicit function, we have a see, अगर एक इनपुट का अगर एक इमेज है उस टाइप को फंक्शन को बोलते हैं वन वन फंक्शन, वन वन फंक्शन. So the function must be one one. So this is a one one function, one two function. These all the things we have to discuss in 12th classes, but it is not mandatory for the get point of view. The get point of view is here. The explicit function, implicit function, composite function, even function, odd function, modulus function. These are the important subjects. So explicit function is represented as f of x1, comma x2, comma x3, and it will go up to xn. So this z is called here dependent variable, and this x is called here independent variable. So here the variable is already separated. So this is your explicit function. Same way implicit function. Implicit function means if the variable it comes under the any function, like if it is given phi of z x1, x2, x3, and it is going up to xn, it is equal to 0. Means we can't separate the variable. Means we can't separate the variable. That type of function is called implicit function. Implicit function. Like if I'll give you here yx plus y square, y square, x square is equal to 0. Now can you simplify them? Like if it is given equal to this, can you separate this variable? Can you separate it? No, we can't separate it here. So this type of function is called the implicit function. But if the some expression is given, like if it is given here, okay, xy plus xy square is equal to something 3 is given. तो हम लोग यहाँ से लिख सकते हैं x must be equal to y plus y square. This variable is separated. It means it is called explicit function. It is called here explicit function. Similarly, the next type of function is here composite function. Composite function means you remember that here if z is a function of x comma y and where x is a function of t and y is also function of t. So from here we can say that if z is a function of x comma y and x comma y is a function of t, so indirectly we can say that z will be the function of t. So this type of function is called a composite function. Next system we have a special function also. A special function. A special function like if it is given even function. So even function, how you identify that? So for the even function, if f of minus x, if it is becoming f of x, that type of function is called even function. Like cos x is an even function, or mod x is an even function, or x square, it's an even power, it is an even function. Because if you substitute here cos of minus x, you will get it here cos x. Cos of minus x, you will get it here cos x. So it is even function. Or minus x ka whole square, you will get it here x square. Meaning f of x. So this type of function is here even function. Similarly, the second one is odd function. Odd function means if f of minus x is here minus of f of x. Like we can say that here the example is sin x or x, yeah, odd power. It will give that odd function. Basically here sin of minus x is given as minus of sin x, or minus of x ka whole cube, you will get it here minus x cube. So these are the odd functions. These are the odd functions. Similarly, next is here modulus function, the third one. Modulus function. Okay, this is here modulus. So modulus function is defined as f of x is equal to mod x, correct? And where the mod x is further defined as plus x when x is greater than 0, minus x when x is less than 0, or 0 when x is equal to 0. If you draw the diagram of this modulus function, so f of x is equal to x. It means y is equal to x length. This is it. Y is equal to minus x means this is the length. F of x is equal to minus x or y is equal to minus x. And y is equal to 0 line is this quantity. So this is the graph of modulus function. And this modulus function is it's not differentiable at x is equal to 0. It's not differentiable. I will check it here when I will discuss the differentiability. When I will check the differentiability. Similarly, the fourth one is the greatest integer function. Greatest integer function. So greatest integer function is defined as f of x is equal to big bracket of x, where okay it's x and it is equal to n. It is given that and n must belongs to z, where z is called here integer value. Integer z could be an integer. So for the definition of this greatest integer function of, if you are going to find out 0.5, you will get the 0. Whatever the integer value, you write on that. Or else if it is a minus 0.5, then what will be the answer? You need to select that minus 1 value. Correct. So minus 1. Yani less value. Don't go for next. This is 0.5 means 0.5 it lies between 0 and 1. Correct. So I will select the least value. So least value you can find out here. Okay, it's a 0. Same way the greatest integer function of minus 0.5 is given as minus 1. Similarly, if I will try to find out the greatest integer function of minus 2, you will get it here minus 2 itself. If it is in point, that will goes to least integer. जैसे कि अगर दिया हुआ 0.9, then it will be 0 only. But if it says that greatest integer function of 1, it will be 1 itself. Or greatest integer function of 1.2, you will get it here 1. So we can draw the diagram for this one. We can draw the diagram. So here, this is a 0, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here also 1, 2, 3. So see, if you go from 0 to 0.9, 0 to 0.9 if you go, then the value will be 0 itself. If you go from 0 to 9, like x value if you substitute from 0 to 0.9, the greatest integer function for this one, it will be 0. But as you reach the 1, the greatest integer function of value is 1 is 1. So it will come to this point. So from here to here we can say that it's up to 0.9. And जैसे ही 1 पे जाएगा उसका value यहाँ पे शिफ्ट करेगा. Again, from 1 to 1.9, you will get it here 1.9 only. Okay, 1 value only. But as you substitute the value of 2, the y value will be also. Again, it will reach to the 3, and the value will be again, it will come like that. So you will get a graph like a ladder. And this greatest integer function is discontinuous at the integer, like at 2 or at 1 or at 3 or at 4. But it is a continuous from 0 to 0.9 or 1.1 to 1.9 or 2.1 to 2.9. But as the value is like 2, if you put it here, then it is not continuous. Because left and right hand limit won't be the same. We'll discuss this one also. So let's check it here next. These are the types of function are there. Next, I am going to check it here limit. How to find out the limit of a function. So see, for the existence of a limit, for the existence of a limit, existence of limit, the RHL, right hand limit, must be equal to left hand limit. So RHL is given as limit x tends to a plus f of x must be equal to x tends to a minus f of x. So this one further I can reduce it here. Limit x tends to 0, f of a plus h. No, it's the f of a plus x, a plus h, and it will be limit h tends to 0, f of if you put it here x tends to a plus, it will become a plus h, and if you put it here a minus, then it will become a minus h. This is the left hand limit. So if you indicate into the graph, and let's say that this is the graph of the function, and let's say that this is the x is equal to a is there, and this side it is called a LHL, and this side it is a RHL. Means this will be a minus, and this will be x tends to a plus. So whatever the value you will get it here, a minus h, and here we will get it here, a plus h. If these two values are same, it's the equal, then only the limit value will exist. Then only the limit value will exist. And if LHL is equal to RHL then only the limit will exist. So to find the limit of the function, like we have a different type of form is there, like it is called a indeterminate form. An indeterminate form is 0 by 0, infinity by infinity, 0 into infinity, infinity minus infinity, or 0 to power 0, infinity to power infinity, or 1 to power infinity. तो टोटल यहाँ पे 7 टाइप का इनडिटरमिनेट फॉर्म है. So these two are the type 1, these two are the type 2, and this is the type 3. This is here function to power function is there. Then only you will get it here this type of indeterminate form. To see how you find out the limit for the indeterminate form, जैसे कि if there is a simple value is given limit x tends to pi by 2 sin x. So what will be the value of sin x? If you put it here sin pi by 2, and sin pi by 2 will be 1. If the form is not indeterminate, then you can find out directly. Like if you want to find out x tends to 2 of x square, so what will be the value? X of 4. The limit x tends to 2 x square means the value must be equal to 4. But these are the not indeterminate. Indeterminate form means if it is given limit x tends to 0 sin x by x. So how you find out the limit? So first of all, put the limit. So it will be sin 0 divided by 0, and sin 0 is 0 by 0. And 0 by 0 is called here indeterminate form. So see, to find out the limit for the indeterminate form, if the standard form of any limit it is given, like x tends to 0, f of x and g of x, and if you are substituting and you got the 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, apply L'Hospital rule. Apply L'Hospital rule. Apply L'Hospital, it means differentiate numerator separately and denominator separately, and substitute the once again the limit value. Once again, if you are getting 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, again apply L hospital rule. Again, apply L hospital rule. So you need to differentiate here double time, and it will be f double dash x divided by g double dash until and unless you got some finite value. So if you got some finite value, then it is a right answer. So like I want to find out here limit x tends to 0 sin x by x. How much? Substitute the limit, you will get it here 0 by 0. So here you apply L hospital rule. L hospital rule means you differentiate the numerator separately. That will be cos x and x differentiation is 1. Now you put the limit. So cos 0 will be how much? X to 1. So the right answer is for sin x by x is 1. So remember that if it is given limit x tends to 0 sin x by x, or if it is given limit x tends to 0 x by sin x, or limit x tends to 0 tan x by x, or limit x tends to 0 x by tan x, all the values will be equal to 1. So we have some formula also, or standard limit, a standard limit, and you can apply this standard limit to use in the question. Like if it is given limit x tends to a, x raised to n minus a raised to n divided by x minus a. So value of this one is given as n a raised to n minus 1. Second one, limit x tends to 0 e raised to mx minus 1 divided by x. If you apply the again L hospital rule, you will get the answer yet e1. Correct. If you apply it, because if you substitute the limit, you will get it here 0 by 0. So if you got it here 0 by 0 form, so differentiate the numerator. So what is the differentiation of numerator? So e raised to mx is e raised to x, and again mx is m. 1 is 0 divided by 1. Use the limit here. You will get that x tends to 0. It means e raised to 0 is 1. 1 into m is m. It is not a e. The answer you will get it here m. The answer is wrong. You should get here m value. Similarly, if it is given third, if it is given limit x tends to 0, a raised to x minus 1 divided by x, then what is the value of this one? So put the limit here, so you will get it here 0 by 0 form. Apply the L hospital rule. So see, before applying the L hospital rule, I will write on the formula of differentiation. Like if you want to differentiate x raised to n, it is given as x raised n x raised to n minus 1. Or the differentiation of e raised to x is given as a into e raised to x. Or the differentiation of a raised to x is given as a raised to x into log a. Similarly, the differentiation of two products, so it is given as u into dv by dx plus v into dv by dx. And next, if it is given u by v, so it is given as v into du by dx minus u into dv by dx of dx. Similarly, the differentiation of d by dx of log x is given as 1 by x, and d by dx of sin x is given as cos x, and d by dx of cos x is given as minus sin x, and d by dx of tan x is given as secant square x, or d by dx of secant x. It is given as secant x into tan x. So these are the important differentiation formula to differentiate the any function. So this is a 0 by 0 form. Apply L hospital rule. So limit x tends to 0, a raised to x is a into log a divided by 1. Put the limit, you will get the answer here log a. Similarly, the fourth one is given as limit x tends to 0, 1 plus ax to power 1 by 1 by x. So what will be the limit of this? To put the here limit x tends to 0 and check it that this type of form is there. Like if you substitute there, then you will get it here 1 plus 0 to power 1 by 0. So you will get it here 1 by 1 to power infinity. So whenever if it is given like x tends to 0, f of x to power g of x. And if you got the indeterminate form like infinity to power infinity, apply log on both the sides. Why we are applying log on both the sides? To convert them 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity. Because the L'Hospital rule is only applicable for 0 by 0 and infinity by infinity form. So let's check it here. We will assume that k is equal to log limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x to power 1 by x. If you take the log on both the sides, so it will be your limit x tends to 0. This is the limit is here. This is the limit is here. And if you take the log, it will become 1 by x ln 1 plus x. And further we can write down this one ln 1 plus x divided by x. Up put for all 0. If you put it here 0, you will get it here ln 1. ln 1 is 0 by 0. So 0 by 0. Now you apply L'Hospital. L'Hospital. So this will be ln k must be equal to limit x tends to 0. Log differentiation is 1 by 1 plus x. And again 1 plus x differentiation is a divided by x differentiation is 1. Now put the limit, you will get the answer a. So the k must be equal to e raised to a. Because I need to find out the value of, so the limit for the function is given as e raised to a. So whenever if you got it this type of limit, always you need to take the log on both the sides. If the limits are given, x tends to 0, a raised to x plus b raised to x divided by 2 all to power 1 by x is given. इसका जो लिमिट आएगा इसका स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ ab. एक और लिमिट है, if the limit is given x tends to 0, cos x plus a sin bx is given. So what will be the limit of this one? If you do it by in the same way, you will get it here e raised to a. And the last one, like if the limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x by x square, इसका जो लिमिट वैल्यू है इसको गिवन है x का। ये सभी फार्मूला हम लोग यूज करेंगे to solve the problem based on that. So देखते हैं हम लोग प्रॉब्लम प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन। जैसे कि दिया हुआ है क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos 3x divided by x into sin 2x. You see, whenever if you see the sin 2x and the limit is like x tends to 0 is there, so always try to make the sin 2x value as a 1. How? This is given 1 minus cos x and divided by x. If here is a 2x, so multiply up and down by 2x. So this value will be 1 because we know that limit x tends to 0 x by sin x. जो यहाँ पर आएगा if there is there, then we get the 1. So we can say that x tends to 0 and this will be 1 minus cos 3x by 2x square. 1 minus cos 3x by 2x. So we know that one more formula like 1 minus cos x is given as what? 1 minus cos x is given as it's a 2 sin square. Yeah, we have a formula also like sin square x is given as 1 minus cos 2x divided by 2. Or cos square x is given as 1 plus cos 2x by 2. So you can use it here that same formula 1 minus cos 3x I can write down limit x tends to 0. This will be 2 sin square 3x by 2. 3x by 2. Correct. So and divided by 2x square is there. This 2 it will get cancelled. So here what could be the answer? So देखो इसको हम लोग लिख सकते हैं limit x tends to 0. You write down sin 3x by 2. अगर ऊपर है तो down also you write down 3x by 2. And if there is a square is there, you make it all a square. तो देखो x square तो x square, but 3 by 2 हम लोग एक्स्ट्रा टर्म ऐड किए हैं यहाँ पे, तो 3 by 2 ऊपर मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. इसका जो वैल्यू होगा 1 square is 1 into 3 by 4. You will get it here 9 by 4. So हम लोग जस्ट अप्लाई किए हैं जो हम लोग डिस्कस किए लाइक sin x by x का लिमिट क्या होगा x होगा. So based on that only we have simplified. So whenever if you see in the question if there is a x tends to 0 is there, and if the trigonometric function sin x or tan x is given, the value of that one will be always equal to. Similarly, we'll go for second question. It is given that limit x tends to pi by 2 sin square 2x divided by x minus pi by 2 का whole square. So we need to find out the limit. So first of all, you check it whether they are 0 by 0 form or not. If you put it here pi by 2, the 2 gets cancelled, sin pi value is 0. So here the important is the value of 0 degree write down, 30 degree, 45, 60, 90, 180. So if you want to find out sin 0, 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2, 1, 0. It's the 5. This is 5 by 2, 5 by 3, 5 by 4, and 5 by 6. And this is the 0. Similarly, the cos 0 it is 1, root 3 by 2, 1 by root 2, 1 by 2, 0 and minus 1. And the tan value will be, so tan is sin by cos. 0 by 1 is 0. This is the 1 by root 3. 1, this is the root 3. Tan 90 is infinity, 1 by 0. And 0 by minus 1 is 0. So यहाँ ध्यान देना कि sin pi का वैल्यू 0 होगा. So now you apply the L'Hospital rule. Apply L'Hospital rule. So if you apply it here, so it will be limit x tends to pi by 2. Sin square का difference होगा 2 sin 2x. See, I can do here also transformation. Like what transformation we can do it here. I don't want to apply here L'Hospital rule because it will become little bit lengthy. So what I'll do, I'll substitute x minus pi by 2 is equal to t. X minus pi by 2 is equal to t. Yeah, you can substitute here. Okay, correct. X minus pi by 2 is equal to t. देखो यहाँ से x tends to pi by 2 है. So this x टेंस टू पाई बाई टू मीन्स इसको हम लिख सकते हैं t टेंस टू जीरो, क्योंकि अगर x टेंस टू पाई बाई टू अगर यहाँ पे पुट करेंगे जो लिमिट जो चेंज हो जाएगा नेक्स्ट टाइम इट विल बी t टेंस टू जीरो. So write on the it will become t tends to 0 and sin square 2 into x का वैल्यू क्या आ जाएगा t plus pi by 2 pi by 2 डिवाइडेड बाय यहाँ पे x minus pi by 2 का वैल्यू हो जाएगा t का. देखो ये है तो sin pi by 2 plus theta and second quadrant means the sign in the second quadrant is positive. तो ये जो ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाएगा लिमिट t टेंस टू 0 ये हो जाएगा sin square t divided by t square. So what could be the value of this one? And see the 2 is there inside. Okay, it will become here. Okay, 2 is there inside. It means it will become sin 2t plus pi, and sin 2t plus pi is nothing but sin pi plus theta is a sin theta. So you write on 2t. This 2t is here remaining. तो इसको हम लोग फर्दर लिख सकते हैं लिमिट t टेंस टू 0 sin 2t का होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाय डाउन आल्सो राइट डाउन 2t का होल स्क्वायर. So 2 you have taken as square, so you need to multiply 4 up also to cancel it. And इसका जो वैल्यू होगा it's 1. So 1 into 4 is 4 is the right answer. I didn't apply the L'Hospital rule. We can use the data. Just that one we have found it here. So question number 3 here will be put here. If the question is given here, limit x tends to 0. This question is a gate question. Log x by cot x. So log 0 is how much? It's infinity. And cot 0 is how much? So tan 0 is 0. So cot 0 is also infinity. So infinity by infinity means apply L'Hospital. Apply L'Hospital. So it will become x tends to 0 log x का 1 by x and cot x का डिफरेंशिएशन होगा x का minus cot x square x minus cot x square x. And this one further we can write down. This will be limit x tends to 0. This will be 1 by x and cos x is 1 by sin x. So sin x will go up. It will become sin square x. It will become sin square x. And as we know that like limit x tends to 0, इसको लिख दो minus of sin x by x and एक और sin x वैल्यू remaining. इसका वैल्यू 1 होता है and if you substitute the limit, so 1 into sin 0, it's a 0. The right answer is here 0. If you apply the L'Hospital. Similarly, we have another question like this is a based on type 1. If the limits are given directly 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. But if the questions are given like if limit x tends to 0, 1 by x minus log 1 plus x divided by x square. This is the given. So you substitute the limit, so you will get here infinity minus infinity. Now I need to convert them at the 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity form to apply the L'Hospital. So what to do? You do some transformation or do some simplification. Simplification means you take the LCM. That is it. It will be x tends to 0 and it will be here x and x square LCM is x square, so this will be x minus log 1 plus x. So if you put the limit to 0 minus log 1 is 0, it's a 0 by 0. Now you can apply the L'Hospital. So if you differentiate it here, x tends to 0, x differentiation is 1, Log differentiation is 1 by x, and again this one is 1 divided by x square is 2. So again you put the limit here, x tends to 0. It's 1 by 1 is 0 and 0 by 0 points. Again you will get it here 0 by 0. And we simplify here 1 plus x minus 1. You will get here x by 2x. X get cancelled, you will get it here 1 by 2. So the right answer for this one is a 1 by 2 important. So it is based on infinity minus infinity form. Like one more question there is there based on this technology. Basically here it is given limit x tends to 0 1 by x square minus 1 by sin square. इसका हम लोग कैसे लिमिट फाइंड आउट करेंगे? So do some simplification. First of all, first step क्या होना चाहिए? Put the limit and check the types of indeterminate form. ये जो आएगा infinity minus infinity, so do some simplification. यानी you take the LCM. That is the main important. And the LCM will be x square into sin square x, and it will be here sin square x minus x square. And if you put the limit, you will get it here 0 by 0 form. Again, this one I am going to do that some transformation. You write down this one is sin square x minus x square, and down is x square, and up also up write down the x divided by sin x का whole square. देखो ऊपर हम लोग x स्क्वायर लिखे हैं तो नीचे भी एक x स्क्वायर लिखना पड़ेगा और इसका वैल्यू कितना था 1. ये जो ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाएगा लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 0 sin स्क्वायर x minus x square divided by x to power 4. And if you put the limit, you will get it here 0 by 0. So here now you apply the L'Hospital rule. So L'Hospital rule apply करने का मतलब है you differentiate it. Sin square x का differentiation होगा 2 sin x, and again sin x is cos x, and x square का 2x, and this will be 4x. Again if you substitute the limit, you will get it here 0 by 0. क्योंकि 2 sin x into cos x इसको लिखेंगे sin 2x, so sin 0 minus 0, and again down 0. So again you apply the L'Hospital rule. So sin 2x differentiation is cos 2x into 2 minus 2x differentiation is 2 divided by it's a 12x. So here okay 2 cos 2x minus 2. So cos 0 is 1, so 2 minus 2 is a 0, 0 by 0. So again you apply the L'Hospital. So limit x tends to 0. Cos 2x differentiation is minus sin 2x, and again 2x is 2, so 2 to the 4. एक 2 पहले ही, and next 2 का differentiation 0, and इसका जो होगा 24. So now sin 2x इसको हम ट्रांसफॉर्म करते हैं. लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 0, ये 4 6 से 24 हो जाएंगे. So I will write down this one as a minus sin 2x divided by 2x हो जाएगा. कितना रिमेनिंग हो गया? इधर 3 रिमेनिंग हो गया. sin 2x by 2x का वैल्यू 1 होगा, so the answer could be here minus 1 by 3 is the right answer. For the limit, it's the minus 1 by 3. Now एक और क्वेश्चन चेक करते हैं, जैसे कि दिया हुआ है क्वेश्चन यहाँ से. If it is given like limit x tends to 0, 2 raised to x plus 8 raised to x divided by 2 raised to 1 by x. ये है तो it's a 1 to power infinity form. 1 to power infinity. If you put it here 0, so you will get it here 1 plus 1, 2. 2 divided by 2, it's a 1. 1 to power infinity form. So you need to take the log both the sides. Log both the sides. So I am going to do one question based on that. If you take the log on both the sides, it will be 1 by x and log 2 raised to x plus 8 raised to x divided by 2. And इसको हम लोग further लिख सकते हैं limit x tends to 0. This will become 2 raised to x plus 8 raised to x minus ln 2. Ln a by b is ln a minus ln b. Now you apply difference. It's a 0 by 0 form, so apply L'Hospital rule. So ln differentiation is 2 raised to x plus 8 raised to x, and again 2 raised to x differentiation is 2 raised to x into ln 2. and 8 raised to x is 8 raised to x into ln 8. ln2 differentiation is 0 divided by x differentiation is 0. Now put the limit. तो यहाँ पर लिमिट पुट करेंगे तो डाउन विल गेट इट टू 2 raised to 0 is 1, 8 raised to 0 is 1, and up also you will get it here 2 raised to 0 is 1. So ln2 plus ln8, correct, is equal to ln k. So ये हो ln a plus ln b is given as ln a into b. So it's 2 into 8 divided by 2. And ये 1 by 2 है तो उसको पावर में सेंड कर दो. तो 16 to power 1 by 2. अब ये ln get cancel तो k का वैल्यू हो जाएगा 16 to power 1 by 2. The value must be equal to या अगर इस टाइप का हम लोग एक फार्मूला भी बताए थे, लाइक अगर लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 0 रहा और इट्स a raised to x plus b raised to x डिवाइडेड बाय 1 by x डिवाइडेड बाय 2 रहेगा, इसका जो वैल्यू होगा इट्स रूट अंडर ए. a का वैल्यू इस क्वेश्चन में 2 into 8 and it's the root under 16 means 4. So no need to remember or no need to do that. These all the things you can use the formula or a standard one. If you don't know the formula, you follow this method, you can get that. Similarly, if it is given like limit x tends to 0, a raised to x, b raised to x, c raised to x divided by 3 to power 1 by x, इसका जो वैल्यू होगा इट्स क्यूब रूट ऑफ abc. जो वैल्यू होगा इट्स क्यूब रूट ऑफ abc. Now there is some different type of questions are there. If it is given like basically our limit x tends to 0 mod of x divided by x. So limit for this question exists or not. अब जहाँ mod x आता है तो वहाँ पे confusion create होता है, क्योंकि mod x का definition है plus x when x is greater than 0 और minus x when x is less than 0. तो ये जो देगा RHL देगा और ये जो देगा it's NHL. तो पुट करो एक बार, you try to find out the RHL value. So RHL means it is a limit x tends to 0 and it will be here x tends to 0 minus, no it's a 0 plus I am saying that, and mod x को replace कर दो यहाँ पे. Okay, it's a mod x by x and इसको हम लोग बोल सकते हैं limit x tends to 0, you write down, and mod x का वैल्यू हो जाएगा h only, इसका जो वैल्यू हो जाएगा 1. सिमिलरली अगर LHL वैल्यू देखते हैं तो लिमिट x tends to 0 minus, x tends to 0 minus means I can say that this one is a minus h. Yeah, this one you can write down mod of minus h. You write down that is a minus h. Okay, it's write down first of all mod x only divided by x, and further you write down h tends to 0. A minus h means it will become 0 minus h divided by h. The value is a minus 1. So minus 1 and here I got it is plus 1. So both are not equal. It means the limit value won't exist. The limit value won't exist. Similarly, the greatest integer function. जैसे कि एक और क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ है, limit x tends to a, greatest integer function of a, and it is given that it does not exist when a is real number, rational number, integer, or all of them. तो देखो इंटीजर पे वो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा, बट रियल नंबर पे एग्जिस्ट कर सकता है, रेशनल नंबर पे एग्जिस्ट कर सकता है, इस पे नहीं करेगा. जैसे कि अगर हम LHL फाइंड आउट करना चाहते हैं, जैसे कि अगर हम बोलते हैं x टेंड्स टू 2 माइनस इट मीन्स 2 से कम मीन्स हाउ मच 1.9. तो 1.9 का इंटीजर कितना होगा, ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर वैल्यू 6. But similarly, if you go for RHL and if it is given here 2 plus, so 2 plus means something 2.2 and 2.2 का वैल्यू कितना होगा 2 होगा. Is they are equal? No. They are not equal means the limit value won't exist. So these are the types of problems are there based on limit, and we have a questions also. For practice question, I'll give you some practice questions so that you can do the practice here. If the limit x tends to 0, what is the value of x raised to x? Or if the limit is given x tends to pi by 2, cos x to power cos x tends to pi by 2, cos x to power cos x. What is the limit value for this one? And one more, it is given limit x tends to 0, sin x into log x. Limit x tends to 0, sin x into log x square. So you need to find out the limit for these three questions are there. So for the limit, I'll keep it at this much only. And in the next class, we'll discuss about the continuity and differentiability. Because after limit, the continuity, differentiability. After that, we'll discuss the series, how to find out the series. From there also, they are asking the question. Let's end and try to do the more and more number of questions to clear your concepts and tricks. So thank you everyone.